Going trackside is certainly the best part of making train videos, but the editing process is also very interesting to me. I love the creativity involved in telling a story, especially if it's only a few minutes long. I use Corel Video Studio X8 Pro only because I've used Corel for years and I'm too lazy to learn Adobe Premiere. If I used a Mac, I'd use Final Cut Pro. Railroad videos aren't that complicated and don't require special effects. In fact, I make it a point to avoid distracting titles and transitions. In this second video about making train videos, I'm going to discuss how I edit my video. As you know, I generally shoot with two cameras, so the editing process is more complicated. In this first segment, however, I'm going to edit just a single camera view, the simplest video there is to edit. I have used a 30-second intro, but I quickly stopped using it because it bored even me. I know some producers use 30-second intros, but I skip over them. If you've seen it once, you never want to see it again. After putting the color panel in the beginning, I load the video into the timeline. I clip it on either end to the length that I want. I always start my camera well before the train arrives and stop it well after the train has departed. That eliminates handling noise and movements from starting and stopping the camcorder. I put a crossfade transition between the color panel and the video. This first scene is the Amtrak Southwest chief going through Bernalillo, New Mexico. Notice that I used the tripod, composed the scene, and then I left it alone. In retrospect, I got the power lines in the top of the frame, which I try to avoid. The lighting is a bit more backlit than I like, but with the sun so far south at the end of the fall, there's not much to be done about that. I also increased the saturation a bit to give the colors just a little more pop. Next, I insert the standard title that I use, Yard Limit Productions Presents. This video can have different titles for each train if there is more than one train, but in this case, I'm just going to use this one title for the whole video, Editing a Railroad Video. After I put the title in the timeline, I adjust the video clip so that the title never covers up the train. In this next segment, we're going to edit a two-camera video of the private car Cyrus P. Holliday on the back of Amtrak 4. Because the focus is on the private car, I'm going to use two fairly wide-angle shots, one coming and one going. Using scanner chatter can make a video more interesting and provide the viewer with insight about rail fanning the area. For me, track warrants are also a great way to know when the train is soon to depart or reach a certain milepost.
Answer 207 East, clear track 1037 on main 2 between Reed, should live Half Creek, control point on 1341, 1341, Cardella.
I record the track warrants on the camcorder, which is often just sitting next to me at my desk or trackside. When I hear Amtrak 207 release the track warrant at CP Han, I know it's about 10 minutes out.
Track 1038. Track 1038, 1038 to the enter 207, 207 East, EASD with an Xbox 2, TWO. Proceed from control point Madrid, Alpha 836.2, 836.2 TWO on the main track. Warrant is 1 box mark 2, TWO, over.
The visual that it records is useless, so I put it in the timeline, split the audio out, edit it for time, and then delete the video portion. Next, I put in a black color panel, drop in the video for the approaching shot and trim it, and put a crossfade transition between the color panel and the video.
Answer 207 East, clear track 1037 on main 2 between Reed, should live Half Creek, control point on 1341, 1341, Cardella. 4038, 1038, the enter 207, 207 East, proceed from control point Madrid, Alpha 836.2, 836.2 TWO on the main track. Warrant is 1 box mark 2, TWO.
I trim the end of the video and then drop in the receding camera video, insert a transition, and then trim the receding camera video. I edited this so that it appears that the cameras are further apart to show the entire train approaching and then receding. For our final editing exercise, I'm going to edit a 2-camera video of an auto-wreck train with Boeing fuselages that I shot along the BNSF Scenic Subdivision near Gold Bar, Washington. I set up one camera pointing to the bridge for the approaching segment and another camera pointing west for the receding video. The first thing that I do is insert a black color panel to track 1, and then I insert the approaching train video to track 1. Then I insert a crossfade transition between the color panel and the video. Next, I split up the audio because I only want to use one audio track for the entire video, and that way I will have continuous and uninterrupted sound. Next, I identify the spot on the video on track 1 where the engine is even with the camera. Then I do the same with the receding video, and then I drag that to track 2 and separate the audio from the video and delete the audio. Then I scroll along the timeline to the point where the Boeing cars have passed the approaching camera 1 video. This is the spot where I want to see the Boeing cars on the receding video, so I will clip everything at that spot and delete the video from track 2 that I'm not going to use. Now I scroll along the timeline to some arbitrary spot along both tracks where I want to switch back to the approaching video. I will clip the tracks at that spot and delete the video that I don't want to use and move up the receding video from track 2. Now I scroll towards the end of the video to just where the DPU passes the approaching camera. I clip the video here in both spots and delete the video on track 2 that I don't intend to use. I delete the video on track 1 after the DPU passes and move up the video from track 2 to track 1 so that I can watch the DPU recede. At that spot, I clip the end of the video to match the length of the audio. I insert a black color panel at the end of the video and then insert a fade to black transition between the video and the color panel. Next, I fade the beginning and the end of the audio. Now the video is ready to be rendered. Stevens Pass, as it's known, is one of the most beautiful places to railfan, but it's also hard to find a good place to shoot due to lack of access, vegetation, and the rivers. This spot near Gold Bar is perfect. The fuselage train is iconic in the Pacific Northwest. Boeing 737 fuselages are made in Kansas and then shipped by rail to be completed in Renton, Washington. I originally saw this train in Skycomish, Washington, and knew it would be heading west once it got a green signal. I had seen this spot near Gold Bar on Google Maps and thought it would be a perfect spot to catch this train.